just came in from the cold. Do you like my jumper? Okay, let's go put in the compost. Okay, the kitchen waste. I want to show you how I do it. All right. So, yeah, let's go outside. It's cold, but we'll manage. So just as an example, okay, my setup is not amazing, but this is what my pot looks like. I've lost a lot of soil from there to there over time, and most of the wood chips have broken down in the last 1 year. So I need to buy more wood chips locally. Oops, and put it back on. But this is what this is my kitchen waste. The bits I've been able to gather. You see all the sweet potato, Irish potato, as we call it. Just potato, sweet potato. Some kale stalks, eggs, tea bags, spent tea bags, bananas, some salad, green salad. There's some strawberry stalks, you know, the head. You eat what you want and then just chop all that. Banana, more of the same really. See? All this is what I'm going to use to enrich my soil. Some brown leaves. Let's keep that there. Some brown leaves I just got from the backyard, the courtyard. They've just fallen on the path. They're already starting to decompose and there are lots of worms in there already. That's amazing. Ordinarily you'd get them like this, but it's been raining so much. So I have lots that are decomposing. So that's basically it. Yep. Serrated. Okay. So that's for the banana leaves. Right. I'm going to replant some of these, just trim them down and see if they survive. I've got lots of worms in there, and they're the ones that help break down. They're really important in a container garden. Okay, if you're going to go organic, and if you're going to do it in a container, you need your worms, healthy colony, just eating up all this lovely kitchen waste. That's how you keep it organic. Oh, I don't want to trouble them. I can see some wriggling at the bottom. All right, let's begin. So traditionally, you can just layer it, just build it up. I won't get it to the top because I want have some other aged manure soil that I've kept in the bag that I've moved down from where I was staying before, and I'll just sprinkle all that on top, maybe somewhere around there, so that the plants can start to grow immediately while the rest of the compost stays at the bottom. It's a very deep container, and most roots don't go all the way down. Let me try and carry this. Yay! Ooh la la! Yeah. I love it. Her friend gave it to me. Whew. So you can begin where you want. Green, brown, or brown, green. It's up to you. All right. I put some of these for the worms that are already there. So a bit of brown eggshells with first impressions, I think. So obviously, first impressions is just going to be raw, uninformed, possibly, because it's just emotions rather than anything. Whether or not you've read about the country or heard about the country, I was petrified. First and foremost, I wasn't even terribly sure that I was going to be let in, because there was a pandemic going on. We don't know what else to do. Self-isolated. Personally, I decided to self-isolate as much as I could in England before leaving. It wasn't necessary, but I thought I definitely didn't want to bring anything to Gambia just in case. And of course, even before you're allowed to board, you have to do your test, your COVID test, and it must be negative. So of course I did that, and it was negative. So So I said, woohoo, thank God for that. But, you know, the mask and everything else had to be on throughout, keeping myself to myself. As soon as as soon as I did my test, I remember I was quite loath to even meet anybody after that. Didn't really want to meet anybody face to face as much as I could. I was excited. I wanted to see what the place had to offer. Now, in general, now the next bit is, let me just say this in general. For my experience, I guess there's a caveat in hearing this, is that I did the local one. I stayed local. We've talked about it since getting back, and I've talked with family about it, and they said, oh, I suppose you didn't really do the touristy things. I said, yeah, actually I didn't. I think with the exception of Abuko Nature Reserve, which I went to just a couple of days before I left the country, you know, many weeks after I'd come to the country. I actually did not really do any tourist things, you know. I didn't go to the touristy places. I just stayed with my local family and did things with them, did lots of filming, visiting lots of land, going to lots of local farms, word of mouth sort of thing, and all within the family. So I didn't use the tour guides and all that, which hopefully some other time when I'm there I will try and do that, you know. But yeah, so when you hear me talk about my experience, remember that I didn't necessarily do all the touristy things. And by the time we visited the beach, it was an eye-opener. I was like, oh my gosh, I've never been to the beach. Silly me. Of course I should go to the beach. And the first time we went was so hot, we just needed to go to the beach because the humidity then in October was terrible. One could barely breathe. So we thought, oh yes, it's a day for the beach, and we went. So I guess if not for that, I very well may not have even visited the beach, if you can believe that. I was too busy, I don't know what it was. I was too busy doing local things. And that sounds weird, you know. I was just, because I personally did not feel like it was a holiday for me. It was more like what you'd call a working holiday. I think that's the best way to describe it. That's Strawberry Head. That's what it was for me, a working holiday, because I knew I was starting my channel there, and I was going to document my journey, so I had to do a lot of learning. I had to do a lot of learning the culture, learning about the people, the food, going to the market, you know, just being able to operate, open a bank account, get your TIN number, open a bank account, look for land, just, you know, learning. And these things, they take time, you know. Yes, if you're lucky, you can watch a video that'll tell you where to go and all the things to do. But in as much as I did watch those videos, I still went ahead with what my local family said. You know, they said, oh, we know where you should go. If you're going to go to this big one, you're going to queue up all day. It's too busy, it's too blah blah. We'll go to the local one. And you're like third on the line, you know. And after about 30 minutes, you're done. So I was like, yep, you definitely know what you're talking about. The banks, you know how long it takes you and all that. So that's what I did. So the people, I suppose that's next. The people of Gambia. How do we go about this now? Should I say, what was my experience? Can you see my breath? Can you see it on camera? Gosh, it's getting colder. I'm not really into things like that, because I feel like I don't want anybody to spoil my experience of something. I don't want your opinion of a people, of a place, to be what I carry in my head when I go to meet those people, when I go to visit that place. And so maybe that's what happened to me. I did the barest minimum checks, as it were. Found out, of course, where the Gambia was. Where is it located? West Africa. Yee-hee. Very close to Nigeria. Yes. If anything happens, will they open the door? Yes, they will. Go on then. I did the barest minimum. Found out how safe, you know. For me, it was all about safety. what money is used there. Will I be able to move around? Can I do this? Islamic, yes. Accepting of other religion, would they allow me? Do I have to cover my hair everywhere I go? Do I have to mind how these sort of things are the things I focused on. I'm going to plant this, by the way. That's potato, so I'll take that out. I've done this before. Last season, in fact, was when I did this. I've never prior to that, I've never done it before, but I watched it on YouTube, somebody's channel somewhere, and you can actually grow your potatoes from as little as that. You don't need the whole vegetable, the whole fruit. So, right, let me make this quicker because my fingers are freezing now. Tea bag. Yeah. So, coming back to the people, very welcoming, and that's the truth. People are very pleasant. People are happy to share. I mean, there's a darling subscriber somewhere who said to me, why have you hurried back home at this dangerous time? If you've run out of money, why didn't you just say? We would have hosted you. And I know many other families would host you happily rather than have you go back to trouble. And I just thought, oh, you sweet thing. How kind of you. Not saying that was the reason why I was going home, but, it's just the spirit of it. And that is the people of Gambia. Because you need to talk about general terms. If you have outliers, or you have outliers in your statistics, you have a minority. You don't focus on the minority. The truth of the matter is, you really do have to talk about the majority. The minority is equally, maybe not equally, but it is important. But you cannot focus on the minority, to the detriment of the whole, whatever research you're trying to carry out, and say, the majority does not matter. It does matter. So for me, the majority of people are very welcoming, and they've been pleasant, and they were very good people. So that's people. So welcoming, very accommodating, but yes, it wasn't all rosy. I guess I'm not really good, because a few subscribers have asked me to tell them more and sincerely tell them about some things that they're worried about. And I said, you know what, I'm not a very good example to use, because even though I stayed there for weeks and weeks on end, it wasn't until maybe a week before I left the country that I allowed myself to do a bit more touristy things, because I knew I was going back. Yeah, so that's that. The food and education in itself. Because people like me, I suppose, from countries like, example, Nigeria, we are quite used to our own food. We're very naughty like that. Let me speak for myself. I am very naughty like that. I think I was expecting remember, I told you, West Africa, isn't it? Yeah, let's go. So I just assumed, West Africa? Oh, just next to Nigeria. Oh, of course it's the same. And I assumed I was going to see this huge baskets of tomatoes, chilies, everything would just be huge. You go to the big market and you can, because when we cook, for those of you who know the cuisine of Nigeria, everything is tomatoes. So don't play with us. So everything is tomatoes. If we cook stew for you here, if we cook jollof rice, if we cook whatever it is, we're talking heavy quantities. Okay, we're not even messing about. And so first and foremost, I struggled immediately when I came, because when I went to the market, I just kept looking for these tomatoes. I couldn't find it. What I was seeing was salad tomatoes. Somebody would put three big ones, or if I'm lucky, 4 medium, or whatever it was, or very tiny, or the greenish. They're usually greenish with just a bit of blush of pink. I said, where's your normal, I didn't know what to say. They didn't want to be rude, but I was trying to say, where's the big red tomatoes now? Where's normal? Yeah. Okay. I just didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to explain myself. I felt like I needed to show them pictures. And then they tell me it's $25 here, and it's this and it's that. And I thought, guy, How many am I going to buy to be able to blend it and then use it to make tomato stew? So bottom line is, it was different. You know, I never really ate that much okra. Most of the soup we have such variety. There's so many, because Nigeria has over 200 and something. Is it even 200 and something? What am I saying? Is it over? Please somebody remind me. I think it's over 200 and something tribes counting. So all of them, they all have their food, what they eat. So yes, is it egusi soup you're talking about? Is it okra? Is it ewedu? Is it ogbono? Is it banga soup? Is it oha? Is it name it? Hi. So to cook all that, when you go to the market, and some of the things I'm looking at, some of the leaves I'm looking at, apart from I remember the name now, what you guys call it, but apart from ewedu, I don't even know what leaves I'm looking at. There's no ugu. I can't find ugu and all that, So I knew that I had to adjust myself, as we say. I'm getting to the top now, so I'm going to do the last one. I don't want it to be too high. Let's just pour the lot. We're almost done. And my fingers are freezing. They're almost not working anymore. Yeah. So I had to eat with the locals, is what I'm trying to say. I decided to let family members, just contribute what I could, and let's eat together. And I was learning from them how to eat their own food. And soon enough, I realized that Benachin was amazing. Super ganja, fantastic. And it just went on like that. And almost immediately, it didn't matter that I could not find my own type of whatever it was I was used to. I don't want to start listing everything here. At least I could find some yam. I love yam. And there was beans in the market, so I could cook beans. So I think those were the main things that I cooked for myself. The rest, I ate with the family. You buy food stuff, you pass it on to the lady, and we ate as a family. Let's put it like that. We ate as a family, and everybody contributed. And that was amazing. So the food, for me, I personally don't have a problem with that. If you're worried about not being able to enjoy that sort of thing, well, maybe bring your own then. No crime there. There's no crime in that, is there? You can import as well. Some people export and import. Is working. The Great Atlantic is there, so you can send things over before you even get there. So that's an idea, because some people do that. Some people send not necessarily the container, but they add their own things to the container. Loads of the things that they're used to, their spices, their core, whatever it may be. They send it over. Right, I'm going to put some of my manure now. So this one is ready to use. I don't have to worry. I will capture some more worms and add them. When it rains like this, they all come out in the garden anyway, so just encourage some into my container to come and help me eat. I mean, it's an amazing, who doesn't want to live here? Prime location, They want to live in here and help me eat it all up. Property, buying land, buying houses, renting, it is true, it's very cheap. Easily you can find a 1-bedroom. It is true, they did exist. You could find a 1-bedroom. Is it 1 bedroom? Yeah, 1 bedroom or 1 room and parlor. I think that's what they call it, 1 bedroom and parlor. So toilet, maybe outside kitchen, something like that, or outside toilet, kitchen inside. And you could pay about some places you could pay about 1,200 to 1,500, and in others obviously 2,000 or more dollars or pounds a year for that. Yes. So if you don't mind, if it's just you, 1 room, so 1 parlor, 1 bedroom, then kitchen and toilet, wherever it may be it inside or outside, you could do that. But 2 bedrooms, you would maybe between £2,000, $2,000, £3,000, slightly more than that, 2,200, and that's about it. Okay, we're all done now. I've come inside because I'm freezing now. My fingers are. Oh, okay. Right, so that was renting and then buying. Gambia is a very small country, so landmass, you know, if you compare to other African countries, compared to Nigeria, buying land in Nigeria, you're talking, at least when I say Nigeria, I mean not necessarily Lagos, just outside of Lagos, 60 by 120, 60 by 150, no, 120, 120 was. And you're looking at on average about 60 by 120, you're looking on average, how much was this property now? About £2,000, 2,000, okay, let's say 2.5. All right, 2.5. Now you're spending the same amount to buy 20 by 20. If you're, I don't know where you're going to get the land, but for some people who bought a while ago, you can get that for 20 by 40. So 2 plots. So each one 20 by 20. Yeah, so, and that is in relation to the size of the country because it's really small. So that was an eye-opener for me, like, say, oh, Gambia is cheap. It's relative. The country is small, the parcels of land are very small, at least piecemeal, and then if you're buying more, you're buying more. But I think for foreigners, you can't buy more than 50 by 50, I believe. So anyway, and those who do more than that, well, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about that. So they will have to speak for themselves and explain how they're able to do it or whatever. But what I understand is, that's is the cost of things. I find the land, obviously, you have to be very careful because there's a lot of once again, like everywhere, you've got to be very careful, especially on the continent. There are opportunities for people to take advantage of you, so you be very careful when you're talking land with anybody. You've got to do your due diligence, get legal advice if you can afford it, definitely do, and let them do the groundwork for you so you're sure what you're buying, and be mindful of caveats on the land. If you have to build within a certain period of time, which quite a few of them are like that, you must construct something in, I don't know, 6 months or whatever it may be. So think about things like that. Is it agricultural land? Can you build on it? So these are the things you need to really look into when it comes to land. And then just in general, when people say, oh, did you find that it was an affordable place to live? Relative again. The fact that it's a developing country and one of the least developing or developed, it is developing, but one of the least developed in the continent, the African continent itself, means that there's room for improvement, because that's the way I see it anyway. There's so many opportunities for business. You need to come, when you come, you need to think of it as in, since this is not developed, what can I do to make it better? And therein lies an opportunity for business, enterprise. So if you see it that way, then you will understand what they mean by there are lots of opportunities in the Gambia, and the Atlantic is there. So for import and export, yeah. But is it affordable? Is it cheap? I can't really answer that question. I did not find it cheap, and I am not necessarily counting my pennies. So I'm just the average person who's got a job. Well, in the UK anyway, you have a job, you earn a particular amount of that you earn, and because you have that amount of money, you can buy your flight ticket and go to somewhere like the Gambia. So nothing amazing, but having to spend money there, you spend money every day. You spend money on everything. Is your cash power, is your Airtel or the other one? What's the other one called? Don't be offended. I don't know what the other one's called. I've forgotten now. QCell, that's it, Airtel or QCell line for your mobile network. Is it the petrol in your vehicle that you're driving? Is $400 is enough to put in the tank? Would that be done finished by the day? Or is it $600? Is it, what type of vehicle are you driving? Is it taxis? Taxis are very cheap, very. You know, Senegambia to Serakunda. You know, you're moving from one spot to the other, $10 here at a time. Very affordable for that. But anything more than that, if you're hiring the taxi yourself, easily 10 times the price, 20 times the price, easily. You have to buy, you have to spend your money for food. And is the food cheap? People are using easily 70% of their monthly income on just feeding, easily. And I got that, even I experienced that, but also I checked find this piece of research I was reading actually wasn't focusing on that. They're talking about poverty in general and trying to improve things, you know, maternal health and all. But they were suggesting that that is the case as well. And I think that's what I've seen. There will be there will be people who are well off in the society like any other one who will say, no, I don't spend 70% of my, yes, I'm sure that will not be the case for you, but for quite a few people, they're spending that much money on feeding. So, and for me, I've always been uncomfortable with that sort of equation. For me, that just spells danger. And you need to be earning daily to be able to spend daily that way, or else you would easily get into trouble. And you don't want to have to go cap in hand. So I did not necessarily find it cheap. When I was spending in my mindset, in my British mindset, of course it was cheap. Yes. Oh yeah, that's good. But most times I don't. When I go home to my continent, I don't spend in that mindset. I actually spend in Naira. I do the conversion in Naira. And Naira is Nigeria for those that don't know. It's like, too expensive. So I might pay and say, oh, stop it. That's not where you are. Stop it. And I just pay. But easily I tell myself, how much did you just spend on that? Did you just spend this amount of money just to buy tomatoes, vegetable, whatever green it was, chilies, aubergines, palm oil, groundnut oil, spices? Did you just spend all that? And that's just one meal you're going to cook, or maybe you're going to have it twice because you cook it and you have some of it now and then you put some in the fridge or whatever. But that's just it. Is that what you just spent? So, and I think the earning power is not Gambia is not known for its earning power for majority of the people anyway in the country, so there's room for improvement in that one. So how much you're earning, I hear there's an average. I've not verified that they have a maximum. In fact, I shouldn't say that because I don't know that that is true, because when I heard I said Tofiakwa, God forbid them. And so nobody does that to their people. You don't put a maximum wage. We do minimum wage, you know, to help people. You don't do maximum. So I think maybe the person who was speaking to me didn't get it right. If, you know, Gambians, if you're watching and this is the case, can you please just tell me? Because I actually forgot to ask about this. Of course, I wasn't working, so I had no way of confirming that they do this. But anyway, so no, from my savings coming into the country, spending my money daily, it did add up. It adds up. So if you're coming with family, it does add up. And no, I didn't find the country necessarily cheap per se. There are things. I mean, watching another YouTuber's channel, and she was having lobster. She said for $60 or something like this, which is a pound. Yeah, I was like, really? Why didn't I watch your video before I left? I want to eat lobsters too. But like I said, I didn't do the touristy things. I kind of, you know, I was just zoned into a particular path I was following. And now that I'm back, I'm thinking, okay, next time I'm not going to be so studious. I'm going to go and actually, when I'm there, hopefully this time around I'll just be living in the society as opposed to just visiting. But I will remember to let myself see these other things and let myself experience these other things, because I think you want a holistic, experience, don't you? So that's my little take. So in general, I enjoyed my stay. I did not want to leave. I already told you that. It's necessity rather than choice. I've had to come back, and I am planning my future because I don't necessarily know where the next step is taking me. But I know I'm not the only one. It's a pandemic. We're all in this together. So I cannot be moaning about me when the next person probably has it worse. The people in the hospital right now, they don't know if they're going to survive this COVID. Yeah. I enjoyed my stay. And I would go back. I would do some things differently. And others I probably do just the same because I did local things. So I probably would do all that again. Well, you see my videos, you know what I focus on is my plants, is nature. That is me. It's not, that part is not going to change. I'm going to be looking for my garden. I'm going to try and build. I'm going to try and do all those other things. So yeah, healthcare, I guess I didn't talk about that, but because thankfully one did not need healthcare. And I believe Zandella's Johnny, the lovely lady Zandela, has done some videos about healthcare. So for those of you who want more information, I believe you can have a look at her video and get more. I don't have much to say. The little I experienced of it was just visiting the MRC just to see what's going on there because I'm from a clinical background. And then, of course, just accompany a friend to one of the private hospitals for their care and just being a bit nosy because once again, I'm clinical and I'm like, what are you doing there? Can I see? That sort of thing. It's like, oh, okay, is that how you do it? So that's all I was able to observe about the medical. But there are some good places. So far, anyway, from what I could see, some good healthcare out there in the Gambia. So, yeah, do your research, do a shop around. But I wasn't like horrified to say, oh my God, these people have nothing. No, that's not true. They do exist. Yeah, I think that's all. That's all. If I remember anything else, I'll try and incorporate it in any other video. And if you do have a question like, oh, you didn't tell us about this aspect, I'm really keen to know about this aspect. If I experienced it and I have enough information to talk on it, as it were, I will tell you more about that. But I kept a very narrow focus when I was in the Gambia. I stayed locally and I ate locally. And I did lots of content creation and lots of research for future projects that may not have not necessarily recorded here. So yeah, I might have missed out some of the things that you are probably more interested in and things that you would go there and do yourself. So if that's the case, give me a pointer and let me see if I can get information on that for you. Some of you wanted to know more about land and I don't understand why. But I will tell you also, I personally do not want to be responsible for anybody's money being busy. You know what busy is? My own money too. Me, I don't want anybody to eat my money. So not for now anyway. I mean, if I find a reputable tradesman, reputable sales, whoever, outfit person, yeah, I'll share that with you. But I'm not in that business of doing that, brokering. I'm not a broker. It doesn't mean one cannot broker, but I am not one. I was a banker, but I was not a broker. But if I have good information, I'll let you know. And I'm keeping a bit mute on that one. I'm keeping mum on that one for now because I'm still trying to, see. Let me not overburden this video. Let me not make it too long. But that is my experience in the Gambia. Overall, I enjoyed myself. Overall, it was good. It was safe, like they said. The nice walks we took at night, coming back from somewhere. Sometimes, my sandals, blum, 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 all over the place, like not worrying. Maybe because we were usually in groups, so that's good. but I didn't see anything that made me think, oh, my handbag, oh dear, who's that? There was nothing like that that I could see. Anyway, but always take it with a pinch of salt, because we are all different. We all look different. We all attract whatever. The energy is different. And yeah, if you're just careful, generally, you should be able to enjoy the Gambia without any problems, I think. Just be careful. Right? Okay, guys. Gosh, I've just come from the cold and I've just noticed my cheeks are absolutely... Anyway,